What is going on, my broskiis? My name is TheLordShiro, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we've made a ton of videos talking about Kizaru, and I think it's about time that we actually give a bit of love to Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, because I know not everyone would have pulled Kizaru. Some of you guys, though, would have pulled the Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, so let's go ahead and make a dedicated video for these guys. Now, in this content, we're going up against a training forest. Now, training forest, for those of you who are like new players, or potentially you guys come back into the game and you don't exactly remember what these are, these were old, very, very difficult pieces of content, and essentially when you clear them for the first time, you receive a new ship on your account, and they have vastly different abilities, and of course with the introduction of ship level 12 and modifications using your cola, you can get some pretty decent ships out of these, honestly. This is the Kid Forest, which is the final of the training forests that has ever arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise. I think this piece of content is over 5 years old at this point, and we haven't received a new one, which is unfortunate because the training forests were a good way to kind of challenge yourself, because these pieces of content were pretty tricky when they first came out. With the considerable power creep that we have in the game right now, this content is a lot easier, I'll tell you that. I mean, there were some very obscure teams you had to run in order to get through it when it first came out. But of course, characters have insanely powerful captains, switch effects, specials, that it definitely makes things a lot easier. But the thing is like, when I was using the Borsalino, the Kizaru, in a bunch of different content, we used him against Grand Voyage, we used him on basically everything in the game at this point. And I found Kizaru a ton of fun to use. I am not having that same experience whilst I'm using Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. Now, what I will say is that when you launch that special, you are killing everything on that screen. Now, I gotta admit, like, power-wise, this character is pretty phenomenal. And the thing is, though, is while this character has that sheer power, does it allow this character to carry into, like, top 5 level, like, top 5 level in the game? And if we compare this character to the other characters that I would consider to be in the top 5 level worthy, you've got characters like Zoro and Sanji, you've got the 10th anniversary units in Luffy, Ace, and Shanks. And it's like, does this character compete with those units? In terms of power and damage output, yeah, definitely. But the issue is this character has nowhere near the crazy utility that characters such as the 10th anniversary units and Zoro and Sanji actually have. I do make a little bit of an error in this content. We'll kind of talk about it when we get to it. I could have definitely got through this content a lot faster than what I did, but I digress. But I think that, honestly speaking, like, I think that they could have done a lot more in terms of the captain ability, because they essentially built this character to be a wrecking ball. And while it is very good at doing that, it lacks in other forms, right? Like, the character just doesn't have great utility, meaning that if you are in like long form content, like a training forest like this, honestly, I don't know if this character is going to carry that well. Now, look, the thing is this piece of content does make things quite easy because, you know, the enemies don't have much HP, the gimmicks are relatively manageable, all things considered, so this character doesn't really, like, it doesn't really matter, right? But what I'm just saying is that in terms of the experience, the fun that I had while using Kizaru versus this Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, it's incomparable, honestly. I had way more fun using Kizaru. And that really could be for a lot of different factors. Obviously, we kind of talked about the utility sense, but another reason why that could be is it could just be like a burnout from Straw Hat Pirates. We have so many Straw Hats. Every major celebration pretty much has some type of Straw Hat representation, usually, right? And the fact that we have this celebration here, again, another Luffy / Straw Hat focus unit, maybe it's just straight up burnout. Like, if you took out the fact that it's Straw Hat focused and you replaced it with another type of unit, like, I don't know, hypothetically, let's just say it's a Whitebeard, right? Let's say that this character is like a Whitebeard, and you know, it's solely focused around using 4 Emperors, using Marineford characters, and then like another tag or something like that, right? I think that this character would be way more fun to use. But the fact that it is Straw Hat focused and you have to use the Straw Hats, it does make things a little clunky. And especially the main issue that I found while using Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji is that a lot of the Straw Hat characters in the game just straight up don't have their tags yet. Like, there's a lot of older rare recruits, there's a lot of free-to-play units that don't have it. So when you're trying to build against like a really obscure piece of content and you want to use like one specific Straw Hat rare recruit that deals with everything on one specific stage, you go ahead, you put in the team, and then lo and behold, you find out the character hasn't received any tags yet. It's not even a Straw Hat tag character. So honestly, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji feel a little weird right now. I feel like once every character in the game receives their tags, this character will be way more fluid to use. But as it stands right now, I mean, if I'm choosing like which character I'd rather build a team with, I'm definitely picking Kizaru. Now, look, the thing is does that mean that Kizaru would be ranked higher than Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji on my personal tier list right now? It's hard to say, because the thing is like a lot of the characters at the top tiers are usually the characters that are really, really good in like Super Boss Kizuna sense, like high damage, but they also have good utility. And while I feel like Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji might be one of the best characters in Super Boss, they lack in the other forms. Whereas Kizaru, he's not really going to be that great in Super Boss, in my personal opinion. But Kizaru is basically better everywhere else. So how much do we weigh Super Boss high damage versus like utility and usefulness and ease of use? That's really going to be a hard question. So towards the end of this month, once we get like all of the parts of this Sugo Fest announced and we make like a definitive tier list for the month, we're probably going to maybe live stream it, and then we'll kind of go through it on stream. We'll kind of discuss it, because yeah, it's going to be a bit of an interesting discussion. And really it comes down to what else releases in this celebration, because while we know there's going to be a part 2 and there's going to be a part 3, we know that there's going to be Saint Saturn at some point, but we don't know what else is coming in the celebration yet. So a potential part 2 or part 3 may change things up, may make this character a ton better. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, though, about Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji down below in the comment section, because, yeah, I think this character is really interesting, but there's a few negatives that really bring this character down a little bit for me. And again, look, this might just be my own personal opinion, me being a bit of a weirdo or anything, but I just felt like Kizaru was just a ton more fun to use. Again, could just be me. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about it. This is the stage, by the way, that I was mentioning that I kind of stuffed up on, because I was like, oh, how do I get rid of the despair? I completely forgot about it, because I did really want to save Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji for the final stage. I could literally have just used them on the stage versus King to remove the despair to get through it a bit faster, but you know, it wasn't really a big problem, because King doesn't really do like that much damage anyway. So anyways, it just could have got through it a little bit faster, all things considered. But yeah, honestly, this character is really powerful, but we'll see what happens. I think that there's going to be maybe stuff that comes out in part 2, part 3, hopefully gives this character a bit more support, but it really comes down to just giving tags to all the units, and that's going to fix a lot of issues, in my opinion. So again, we'll have to wait and see as to when that's going to happen. Hopefully it's a monthly thing, maybe once a month, at the start of every month, maybe a new batch of characters receive their tags. I think that would be a really good way to go about it. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Yaるじゃねえか